Good morning, church. Today is our last Sunday in quarantine. Can't wait to see you all next Sunday for Palm Sunday. I just wanted to share a private message with you all because you are a beloved part of our church. And in the last 3 weeks, we have had 13 members of our family contract the COVID-19 virus. If you look around on a Sunday morning, I don't have to do the math for you. That's a large percentage of our family. It's broken my heart to see a lot of us suffering with that virus, especially those of us who are medically vulnerable. But God is faithful. He's always faithful. He's always constant, and He sees us through everything. And He's seeing us through this. Some of you might be asking if we're making any changes in light of our recent outbreak that we've had at church, and the answer is yes. We will be making some changes, and the first one is that we're going to ask that you wear a mask when you come to church. I know what you're thinking. Why? Practically our whole church has, achieved herd immunity at this point, and I understand what you're saying, but there's still a lot of us who didn't contract the virus, who are still vulnerable, and let's not forget, any new visitors that we might have, that, we want to protect them, health-wise and spiritually. Some folks might visit us and they don't know the Lord, and they're not equipped yet with the spiritual tools to combat infirmity and fear and all of that, and we want to come alongside them. We don't want to scare them off. And you might be thinking, why now, right? We haven't been asking folks to wear masks this whole pandemic. Why now? It's a good question. I don't think it's ever too late to protect others, to show love, and to make people feel comfortable in our congregation. Another reason, with 13 people testing positive in our little church, we have become a little bit of a red flag for the Department of Health, whether we like it or not. So, they might be asking questions like, why was there such an outbreak like this? What changes could they be making to prevent this from happening again? Or even have they learned from this? I wouldn't be surprised to just see some folks, just pop in once in a while. They've actually done it quite a few times during the pandemic at the gathering place, but we've kind of flown below the radar at church. So it is possible that someone could come and visit us, and I really would like them to see that we have made some changes to try to prevent this from happening to our people again. And to put this in perspective, because of the cluster that we've had of positive cases, we weren't able to worship together for 3 weeks. We weren't able to feed our community from our food pantry during that whole time. Everything that we offer as a service to our community had to stop. And Kevin and I want to do everything that we can to, anything that's necessary to prevent this from happening again. Another change that you might like is with communion. As much as we've loved having a fresh loaf of bread for communion, it's probably not the healthiest thing that we could be doing right now with all of our hands in one loaf of bread. So one thing that we are doing is, this is a little different. I don't know if you can see. These are pre-filled communion cups. Yep. So the way this works is, and maybe we'll practice it out next week, is in the bottom of this, so there's two sides, in the bottom is your bread. So you take the bottom part off, and here's your mini piece of bread. I don't know if you can see that. And then when it's time to receive the top, you just take that off. And here, I'll be the first one. Tastes good. So even parents might appreciate this because it might cause some less spills, and it might save some time for the ushers. So who knows? You might actually like that change. As far as masks go, when you're sitting there just listening to the sermon, sure, of course, you can take your mask off. But we do really ask that if you're up and around and talking to folks and fellowshipping or ministering, would you please put that mask on to to show love to everyone else in our congregation, and keep praying for those who are still dealing with this. There are some folks who just ended up testing positive a couple days ago, so there's some of our congregation freshly in quarantine. So just keep praying. God is faithful. Let's get back to the business of saving souls, building that fivefold ministry that God has intended for our congregation, stirring up those gifts of the Holy Spirit. Let's get back to that. These are not big changes to make. Let's focus on the most important things. Love you guys and can't wait to see you next week. Bye-bye.